Hi there, I'm Lisa Taylor and this is Ideas on Truth. I'm talking about letting go. I've been learning a lot recently about letting go, and it's been a really interesting walk. I gotta say, just when you think you've let go, you get another challenge that comes along that forces you to let go even more. Hey, Colleen. If you're watching this and you're watching the replay, just do hashtag replay and let me know where you're listening from, because I like to know who the listeners are. That would be great. I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but I've been dealing with, that's why I haven't been on here. I've been dealing with a lot in my sort of immediate circle. And circumstances are always out of our control, though sometimes they seem like they're in our control. And I think God is, as my friend Melanie says, a merciless comedy writer. I think that when we feel like we might be in control, God lets us know that we most certainly are not. So let go and let God is an expression that I grew up with, and I have been really starting to understand that on a much deeper level. When I want something to go a certain way, particularly with other people, it becomes very clear very quickly that God's way is the only way. And if we yield to that, if we if we let go of a mortal sense of control, an egoic sense of control, a false sense of ego, a sense of I'm somehow separate and I can control this or manage this or corral this into the shape or form or direction that I want. And, God always teaches us that we don't really have control. And if we heed the message when it's a whisper, it's a lot easier than if we don't heed the message when it's a whisper and we wait for it to be a tsunami of a message. I think especially where family members, children, loved ones, spouses, people who are very close to us and in our inner circle, dear, dear friends who feel like family. I mean, what does Richard Bach say? I think it's in Illusions, maybe. I'm not sure which book it's in. It may be in Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And he says, rarely do the members of your family grow up with you under the same roof. We all find our families in our lives by connection and by feeling that sense of community. And when those are the people who we are challenged to let go of, it feels a lot harder. It feels a lot more challenging when there's an emotional component and there's that sense of connection with somebody, because we feel like we know them really well. We feel like we might know what's best for them. And a lot of times even for ourselves. I mean, this doesn't have to be outside of us at all, because of course, ultimately, it's never outside of us. Even if it seems like it's for another person or about another person, it's always for us, whatever lesson we're learning. I'm going through a period of letting go, of stretching my understanding of allowing, of letting. Let go and let God. Trust the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. Letting is trusting. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. And though I'm not a real religious person, and that phrase, that biblical quote, sounds very religious, the science behind that, the metaphysics behind that statement, trust the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. Trust love, trust divine love with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. Don't try to make sense of it with your human brain, because it's not going to get you anywhere. Trust, allow, let. Be humble enough to recognize that you're not in control, that God, the universe, creation, source, has this. And we are expressions of the one mind. We are expressions of the one creation. Infinite in manifestation, infinite in expression, but one source. And there's a prayer that I used to say when I was broadcasting, and actually I do it a lot of times before I come on here. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Let the words of my mouth. And, acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. What does that mean? Acceptable in the understanding of oneness. Acceptable in the understanding that love has this covered. Allow yourself to let go. Allow yourself to say no to the false sense of ego that's trying to run the show and say, no, not on my watch, not now. I trust God. I trust love. I trust the intelligence of divine mind. I trust that soul is in operation, that balance is an operative law, divine law, that everything is in balance. Just look at the universe. Just look at the balance of the skies and the spheres. Things aren't out of balance. Things aren't out of whack. If we don't mess with it, if we don't muck around in the order of things, everything is in balance. Well, the same is true in the macrocosm and the microcosm. So if you just look in your own life and you allow the divine laws to operate in your life, balance is achieved if we don't mess with it. That is true in relationships. That is true in getting in other people's business. We talked about it last time. There's my business, there's your business, and there's God's business. And there's only one business I need to be involved in. Not your business, not God's business, just my own business. And my business is actually just recognizing that God's the one in control. So that's my business, is keeping my thought clear of egoic thinking, keeping my thought clear of that false sense of control that ultimately we don't really have at all. Keeping my thought clear of that and saying, nope, I'm not in control. God's in control. Nope, love reigns supreme. I don't understand. Let me give you a little story. So I was looking for a dear, dear, dear friend of mine who was lost out on the street somewhere, hadn't been seen. Missing persons report had been filed. I obviously having a lot of sleepless nights and not just praying constantly. Please, God, help me understand that this person is safe and okay. So I got up very, very early on Sunday morning. It was like 4 or something in the morning, and I put on my running stuff to go running and went out to the gate and just turned it over. Let God. I just said, okay, God, where do I go? I just need assurance that this person is okay. And I was thinking, I'm going to go where, I know at the top of this canyon, this person always talks about God's couch and goes up there with their friends. And, maybe they're up there on this couch. I've never been there. I don't know if I can find it. Maybe I'll go and try and find it. And so I was thinking I was going to run kind of in this direction off to the right and up this big canyon. And it would be a long run, but it would be worth it if I could find the person. And I got really still and really quiet and let go of my human reasoning, let go of my brain trying to solve the problem and work it out and find the solution. And I just listened. We've talked a lot about listening here. And I just got still, be still and know that I am God. I got really still. And I heard a voice. Go left and go left. And I thought, it can't be that easy. And I thought, wait a second. Trust it and be obedient and just follow it. So I went left, which is like half a block to a river, and went left up the river. And within about a minute, I found the person. In a minute. Saw them under a tree, camped out, made a little camp for themselves. Safe, secure. People had given them food. They had what they needed. They had water, they had a blanket and some cushions they were lying on. And, all along the past, it's been about a month of a lot of turmoil with this friend. And all along the way, there have been angels. God sends the angels that you need and sends them to your side to comfort, guard, and guide. And not only is that true about the friend, it's true about me. Every time I've felt kind of at my wit's end and not known what to do or how to pray or what to trust, there's been a text message or a message from somebody sort of confirming that things are okay, just letting me know God's got this person. God's got them. You don't need to get involved. You can just trust. And if you're led to do something to help, great. But you don't need to fix this. You don't need to dive in and get involved and fix. And there are so many times when we feel like we know better for somebody. Who knows what's good and what's bad? It's that old Chinese proverb about who knows what's good and what's bad. And I've shared this with you before, but I'll do the Reader's Digest version. There's a man with 3 sons. They have wild horses that they corral into this pen, and the fence breaks and all the horses run away. And the neighbor comes over and says, "Oh, I'm so sorry for your great loss." And the father says, "Who knows what's good and what's bad?" And the next day, the son goes out and he finds these wild horses and he brings them all into the fence, and they mend the fence, and they have the ones that ran away brought 3 times as many back into their barn, and they have that many in the corral. And the neighbor comes over and says, "Oh, your good fortune." And the dad says, "Who knows what's good and what's bad?" The son the next day is going out to try to break one of the horses and try to ride them, and he falls off and he breaks his leg. And the neighbor comes over and says, "Oh, I'm so sorry for your bad fortune." And the dad says, "Who knows what's good and what's bad?" The next day, the military comes to conscript the son, but because he has a broken leg, he can't go off to war. And, it goes on and on and on. So when something happens in the human realm, and we look at the circumstance of things, if we look at it through the physical senses and through the human eyes, a lot of times it can look like a disaster, but we don't know. The son breaking his leg can look like a disaster, but if it keeps him out of war and keeps him from going in harm's way, that could be a very good thing. The horses running away could be a disaster, but they bring back even more. So they have 3 times the wealth that they had before. So you get the point. There are times, and many times in other people's lives, when we're messing in other people's business, which we're not supposed to be doing, but sometimes we do, or we're tempted to, that we think we know better. We don't. Let go of your sense of what you think is right. Let go of controlling everything that's going on around you. Let God be God. Let God be infinite love. Let God show you what you need to know and give you the messages. Let God send the angels to your side to comfort, guard, and guide. How about the message I got the other morning? Yes, was that yesterday? It seems like 3 days ago. Yesterday morning, go left and go left. I mean, there are no words. That's how God operates. So precise, so exact, so not coming from me. I was going to go the other direction, way far away. So I just wanted to come on and talk about letting, allowing. Allow God to be God. Let there be light. Let there be light. Let the light shine in your life. Let the Christ truth shine in your consciousness. Let there be light. So all we have to do is let. I love you guys. Please put comments below. I love to hear what you think. And share. Share. I have been a little bit behind in turning these into YouTube videos, so those of you who have people on not on Facebook and want to share, I will put the last one and this one on in the next couple days and post them so that you can share these out, because I know you like to do that. And I also am reposting these on a blog that I started years ago called Taytruth. Is it .com? I think it's taytruth.com. It's not .org, it's .com. Taytruth.com. So if you don't want to share the YouTube, you can also share those. Those are a little bit behind. I'm posting them every day, but I'm sort of using up my library. So they're kind of older ones, the oldies but goodies. Anyway, so this is Ideas on Truth. I am Lisa Taylor. Thank you so much for joining, and I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and please feel free to put comments below or email me at ideasontruth@gmail.com. All right, lots of love. Bye.